You sheriff. I damn it.
1, 2, 3. Harold and Brad, Windy City Filmmakers. Harold and Brad, Windy City Filmmakers. Harold and Brad. Da, 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 da.
Go ahead, Brad.
Well, my bad. One more thing. Was the day with the bowl of cereal, was that you or was that in the script as well?
No, they put that. They said he's eating cereal, and I was like, why is he eating cereal? I think they thought it was funny.
Right.
I didn't think it was that funny.
Okay. Right.
I mean, it added a I don't know, a layer. It just added another characteristic to this guy.
Yeah.
But I think they didn't. I think that I would have liked to see them develop the character more because they did. They set him up so beautifully, but we never found out why is he eating this bowl of cereal, or why is this guy in this bullet hole? He got platinum albums on the wall, and he just records in this. Is it in this dusty bullet hole written rat trap? And why does he do that? Is it because it's nostalgic and you feel like, well, I made hits here and I'm gonna keep here and the magic happens here? You know what? But we never get a chance to figure out, discover all that because it wasn't his story. Maybe they'll give him a spinoff. I don't know.
So you went to Harvard and got your MFA. Then you went to you spent a year in Russia.
A semester, half a year, like 3 months.
3 months. So how was going to Harvard and getting that training? How did that deepen your work, deepen your technique, or how was that experience for you overall?
Well, the experience was a little challenging. It was trying because Harvard is like being in Cambridge is like a microcosm of the U.S. It's you're in a very small, concentrated area with a lot of privileged, very well-to-do people. And when you come from humble beginnings and you don't feel entitled to everything around you, that can be challenging when in so many different ways. But the work, the program itself was good. I felt like I got some solid training, both in Moscow and in Cambridge. I would prefer and favor the training in Moscow over the American training because they seem to be it's all about the work. They cared nothing about who your parents were, what privilege you had. Right. It was like, you can't do this shit, then you're just not doing it. We're not going to coddle you and say, oh, good job when you actually suck. Like we train the best of the best. I remember we were coming to class one day, and it was during the time we were doing their recruiting for their classes, or for their classes, and there was about 5,000 kids in this square.
Right.
I mean, it was so as far as you could see, you just saw young people showing up every day. At one time, you probably see anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 just sitting right there in that square. And I mean, it was flooded. It was for about a week, and they would come and audition for 12 spots in the class. Right. So they didn't really care about anything but the work, and they kind of felt they had a proprietary position on dramatic training, being that's where all the dramatic training started in Europe and in the Western world.
Was that the Moscow Art Theater?
Moscow Art Theater School, yeah, was established by Stanislavski and Gorky.
That's what I was going to ask. Was that Stanislavski training that you received?
Yeah. The Stanislavski, we learned that there is no method. There's just a system of principles on which every actor should add.
Right.
On which every actor should add. There's the method of the method. Doing it this way that doesn't. It's not accurate.
No doubt. So, like speaking of humble beginnings, you also wrote a one-man show, The Dada. It's been a pleasure, man, because it was a pleasure seeing how it developed and grew. Like when you first wrote it, and then you did it again after you graduated from Harvard, right?
Yeah, again, going back to a question you asked earlier about, I think Harold asked about how do you take something from the small thing and then and making it bigger. I just really wanted to make art, and like Wilson, like August Wilson, I wanted to talk about the people that I thought were important, the people that I thought deserved some spotlight and some shine, and that was my family and the people that I grew up around. I think there's some incredibly rich characters that came up in that neighborhood, man. So yeah, I mean, not knowing how to produce a play, not even knowing how to write a play, or anything of that nature. I actually, a friend of mine, Joe Gibson.
Yeah.
You all know Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Me and Joe would be on the phone for hours at a time, just crack. And Joe said, you should do a one-man show. And I knew nothing about putting together a one-man show.
Right.
I started looking at John Leguizamo and the stuff that he was putting out there. Yeah. I heard Whoopi Goldberg had a show. And then, of course, Bill Cosby. He would do his stand-up, and it was like a show, him and Pryor. So he kind of dared me to do it, and I said, I'm going to do it.
Nice.
And I said, well, what am I going to talk about? So I tried to write it, but I didn't know how to write a play. I didn't know how to write anything. I just wrote it. I said, dude, this is supposed to be in paragraph form. How do you write a one-man talking show? Yeah. So I just wrote stuff down, and I started trying to memorize it. And then I said, well, when am I going to do this? I guess we got to figure out a day and a place to do it. And I remember that, how did I find out about the Athenaeum Theater? I think I saw a show up there once, or I went up there for something. I forgot how I found out about it, but I knew they had theaters in there that they would rent out. Oh, and Perform Me, we tell you, theater rental, you can go into space. So I rented a space, and as you know, Brad, I called you up because once I got into space, I looked in it was a black box, and they had this room up there, and I climbed up the ladder and went up there, and I saw these machines, and I said, well, what are these for? Oh, this turns on the lights. Oh, this makes the sound go. Okay. Oh, you can play something in here. And so I went down and I started acting like I'm doing my show. And I said, man, I think I want a different color light. Well, how am I going to do that? I got to climb up there again and get back. Oh, I need some help. I got to find somebody to do the lights for me. When I say push the light, push the light. And so that's kind of how I learned to do it. I mean, in that process, I learned how to hang my own lights.
No doubt.
And then learned that's when I learned that this is a business, because then you learn how to buy advertising and market and promote the show.
Right.
And most, I think that's the tragedy of the journey, is that a lot of the travesty, I should say, is that a lot of people they forget the business part of show business. And you have to earn. You have to figure out ways to earn in the business of show, And so that experience really, really taught me. Started opening my eyes to the business side. But then when I went to school and got trained, and I started working as a professional, and I had a few plays under my belt, and I found a director with whom I collaborated and worked with quite often, Lou Bellamy. We founded Penumbra Theater, where I'm a company member of. He came to me one day. We were in Denver and doing fences. And he said, my theater back home we're looking for some inexpensive programming because, we don't have a lot of money. I said, y'all should do some solo shows. And he asked me if I had a show. And I said, yeah. I got a show. And he said, well, you got a script? And I'm thinking to myself, a script? Like, I ain't got no script. Like, who? I didn't know you wrote this stuff down. I thought you just memorized up here. Because when I did the show the first time, I did it. And then I did it for like 3 nights. And the crazy thing about it was one of the things when I first wrote it, the night we were supposed to do the show, I got so nervous.
Right.
Because I didn't think anybody was going to show up.
But the first night at the Athenaeum or
first time at the Athenaeum.
Yeah, right.
And then I started hearing all these little feet coming in.
Yeah.
Because the dressing room was the actual coat room.
Right.
Where they take the coat. So I started hearing these little feet come through. I said, oh shit, what am I going to say? I literally started panicking. And then I said, all right, just write an outline of what you want to say. Yeah. And I had it written down, but it just started, I started panicking about what if I can't remember the lines. And I put an outline together and set it on a black stool, and I would just go to refer to the outline, and I would just talk off the top of my head.
No doubt.
And the third or fourth night, I think I did a weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I think Sunday night, I had my girlfriend tape it.
Right.
And so she taped it, and I would go back and look. But by the fourth night, I kind of knew what I was going to say. I knew where the punchlines were. I knew where the audience was going to laugh at. And I just kind of took it from there. And then I used it, and then I did it again. I did a run of it. After we finished, the guy said, we're going to have we got a show drop out. If you want to come back and do it again, I'll give it to you, the space upstairs it's a bigger theater, but I'll give it to you for a discount.
Right. So
I did it. I thought this time I'm going to invite the critic out. I'm going to invite the critics and put some ads in the paper.
Right.
And boy, I tell you learn quick. But what happened, and when we were in Denver and Lou asked me about the show, I said, yeah, I got his one-man show. And he said, can I read it? I'm saying, I said, read it. Like, what the hell? I just got to do it. Right. And he said, I said, yeah, but I'm doing some rewrites. Now, mind you, I did a little theater now, so I know the language. I kind of know what I'm doing. So I said, yeah, I need to. I'm working on the script. I'm gonna put some rewrites. I get it to you by Friday. This was Wednesday, so I went in after we had rehearsed that day, and I banged the whole thing out for what I could remember in my mind. Just banged it, and sent it to him. I didn't think he was gonna do it, and he read it, and I guess, and finally said, "Man, this shit is funny." He said, it ain't finished, but if you want to work on it, we can work on it. So we did. And in 2013, the world premiere of what used to be the Dada became a Brown Tale.
I love it. You know what, man? That story, it brings up so many points. One about relationship, like it is show business, like business is business, but also the importance of having relationships, like, somebody do the lights. And then, somebody who can help you out with lights, you got your back, you just down with them, want to see them, see people thrive. And then something like Christopher Walken said about writing a script. And he said, hey, you want to build a house? Build a house. And he was basically saying that you want to write a script, start writing the script. And there's something to be said about the process of just daring to begin. I never shot a film, never wrote a play, never did this, never did whatever. And you just start out doing it. And you learn, and you learn. And that's how you start getting great, as corny as it sounds, by daring to take that first step, which is really important.
Shoot, I mean, you guys, Harold has stepped in and he introduced me one time for like 2 or 3 days and did lights one time, so we all have helped each other out. But, the thing about it is I was sitting here having the same conversation today with again, a colleague. Whatever door you are trying to get through, you have to open it. And the only way you can open it is stick your hand out there and pull the damn knob. Now
that goes back 18 years.
Yeah, that's almost 20 years ago. Yeah. And I'm still working on it.
No doubt.
And I'm still working. It's got another carnation of it getting ready to come out now so I can tape and film and sell. But the work never goes away, man.
Yeah.
If you want to do something and you want to achieve something, as you say, build out, you got to do the work.
Right.
And a lot of people they do not want to do the work. Even myself, I have to stay after getting my own ass. It's like, look, man, it's not going to come to you. You have to make the effort. You have to do it. Now, again, we've all made efforts. We went on auditions and we've been, reading our books and our plays. And a couple of us have written a couple of scripts. But how many of us can really say we've sat our ass down and pumped out 5, 10 plays that were all shit? And then the 11th one was good. The 12th one was great. The 13th one put you over the top. So you really people only know 3, but we was in the woodshed working the crap.
Right.
That's the success behind a Tyler Perry. A lot of people take issue with the material, but he has the material.
Right.
The August Wilsons, he wrote 10 plays. He wrote more than that, but 10 is what we know of. And there's so many other people that emerged to become a writer that we know, or a producer. It's prolific. You have to be prolific. You have to constantly put in the work. And if you ain't putting in the work, it's not going to happen. And with my show, I had a vision for my show.
Right.
Finally, the vision, came into fruition in 2013. We started working on that show back in 1998.
Damn, 98, no doubt. Right.
And people asked me, and I would do Q&As afterwards. And they would ask, "So how long you developed?" I said, "It took me 16 years to do this."
Yeah.
And where it is now, I shared it with some colleagues when we were on tour, and got some feedback that I got to add another layer to it.
Right.
And these are people that, the director, my buddy Ruben Santiago Hudson, he said, "Man, it's great." He said, "You got them laughing. You keep them laughing. He said, we got to see where it hurts you."
Right.
And I said, "Wow, I never thought of that," because I thought, okay, yeah, it's a night of theater where people just come and get away. Right. But what will make it more impactful if people would see that vulnerability of how did it feel to me when my dad wasn't around, or when I got fired, or when, certain things happen, when I lost this or that, not to go from funny to dramatic, but just show just a little peek inside of that cracked armor.
That's a valuable point you bring up. I did the Second City. I did the storytelling one, and we were in the 7th or 8th week, and I had to do a 10-minute performance. And we had the substitute teacher for that show, and I in class, and I did the 10 minutes, and it was all about the acting, and I did this and that, and this, that, and this. "Oh, that's great. You're powerful," and blah, blah, blah. She says, "But how about telling us about your pain?" Mm-hmm. And so that's another layer, and people want to hear that, and people will feel that too. And that's what we're here to do, is allow people to feel, in my opinion. And so that's what I've been basing all of my work on, is how do I get people to feel? And it's working out real well for me doing that. And so I think that's why we're here too. Like you said, to give people that time. Yeah. That time away. That's what we're here to do.
I'm going to challenge you and take it one step even further. Instead of how we're here to make people feel, we're here to allow them to see us feel.
Right.
Not emote, because a lot of people get up and they want to just emote and cry. That's not interesting. But if I can see how you losing your family, or you losing how did that make you feel? And then how do you handle that?
Right.
That's what people really pay to come see us do in the theater and on television. That's why the Denzel Washingtons and people like that, the Academy Award is always going to some dramatic performance where somebody showed you they raw emotion. That's what people pay to go see, because they don't want to be that. They don't want to let themselves, and they don't want to ever be brought to a point where that's all, they can't control it. Now you just see their raw, naked self. So they pay us to be absolutely vulnerable, absolutely, to hurt, to cry, to feel joy, and to express it in an interesting way. That's why we get paid to do what we do, because they're afraid to do it. That's why I always liken acting and on the stage in particular, I liken it to a blood sport, because it's dangerous, and it should be dangerous, and you can get your feelings hurt.
Right. It kind of reminds me of something like Robert De Niro said. The one thing he loved about acting was that he had the ability to play different characters without paying the price. So you can go there and play like a gangster, but not necessarily at the end of the day, when you rap and shoot, not worry about somebody trying to shoot you because you're in a rival gangster family, right? And I think one thing also the sense that people also pay to see those aspects of ourselves that we may deny to ourselves. Like I think Viola Davis was saying in some interview about how she likes playing the character, and you get to see behind closed doors when they don't have all the answers, when they're incorrect. When I say, man, fuck this motherfucker, right? You know what I'm saying? Things that you may not want to say in actual life, that people, they also want to see that, because like every human being is a walking contradiction between what they may present to the world and what they actually are, and even what they may be hiding from themselves in terms of how they actually feel about something. And that's
you don't want a motherfucker to know what you like when you by yourself in the mirror.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Or when you called everybody on a Friday or Saturday night and you ain't got shit to do but sit in your apartment. What are you doing?
All right. No doubt.
You got no TV on. Who are you then?
All right.
When you don't think nobody's looking.
Yeah.
And so
Same. We almost out of, we keep going. We're almost out of time. But what things are you working now? Well, first of all, we're in the middle of quarantine. So how are you handling that? How are you staying active, like keeping art alive?
This is the best fucking time of my life. I really am enjoying this. I am trying to I am doing taxes. I am organizing my finances. I'm organizing my libraries. I'm getting my house in order.
Right.
I'm writing, I'm reading. I just bought a whole stack of books. I bought books that I've lost, over the years. I've moved around. I've lost in parts of my life. I just bought The Message to the Black Man. I want to read again.
Nice. Just
for the sake of reading. How to Eat to Live. These are books by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But I bought Chinua Achebe's book, Things Fall Apart. I haven't read it. Behold the Pale Horse, all this stuff. It's like you ain't got nothing but time now.
No doubt.
But most importantly, what I do want to make sure that happens, again, I drive home the point of show business, that I take care of the business. And part of taking care of the business is having product to sell.
Right.
I want to make sure that when it comes up, when we open back up, I can come up with something in hand and say, hey, I got something over here, something good. And it's important. I was talking to a buddy of mine, great actor, Stephen Grush, the other day. We were talking about, he was sharing the story of Conor McPherson and how he emerged. And it made sense. A lot of times with social media, we look at other people, and people look at us. They probably look at the three of us and say, man, I want to be that guy. I want that guy's career, or man, how can I get in front of this person and that person? But they don't know the work that we've put in. I mean, the three of us on this screen right now, on this cast, on this talk, we started together from literally scraping around, rolling around the fucking floor, trying to figure out what we were doing. And nobody knew what they were doing. Actually, and that was probably one of the best situations you can be in as an artist.
Right.
Just to be in a room with a group of people that want something, we don't know what it is. And to keep it going. That's how Steppenwolf started. That's how a lot of these, the Labyrinth Theater Company, they started. A lot of these great companies. And what really, resonates with me is the fact that this country is going through a hell of a time. We're going through a hell of a time. The arts might be facing extinction. What I do to earn a living right now may no longer be available to me.
Right.
But it's one thing that I won't do is allow myself to be a fucking leech and a burden on the government in this country, and have somebody else take care of me through some handout programs when I can lock myself in these goddamn rooms and come out with some damn work that I can sell.
Right.
It's over and feed myself and many more people around me, but not be, feeling so, what's going to happen? We ain't going to be able to do the plays. We're not going to be able to earn a living. Fucking suck it up and find a way to make it happen.
Hey man, like one more thing, we'll keep it up. Like the countless shows are doing, like we're doing this right now, this podcast.
Yeah.
But countless shows are shooting remotely from wherever they are. That's like, like Parks and Recreation did like a reunion show last week where they shot, and everybody was wherever they were in the country, and they shot it, edited it together. It's going to be what it's going to be. Like the story, like one thing about it, like we're going through a tough time, but one thing that's really important, human beings, as corny as it sounds, they always going to want to hear story. They always going to want to hear story. That's like one of the basic things from cavemen up to now. Like story is really important.
That's right.
So man, real quick. So do you have a website that people can check you out, find out more about you?
I got one it's under construction, but it's some stuff up there. You can see some pictures and some credits and stuff like that. But it's a better one is forthcoming. But JamesTAlfred.com.
Okay.
JamesTAlfred.com. I don't know when does it go be updated, because every job out of the hat, I'm getting text messages as we speak talking about that's canceled. We're not doing that anymore. So offer that you got is no longer valid. So again, you got to find a way to figure it out. But like I said, I'm enjoying this time, and I encourage other people to enjoy this time to really get to know yourself, man.
Yeah.
To know yourself and and be real with yourself and say, look, all the dreams that I have, they are locked up in my effort. If I do not get the work done to unlock the door to my dreams and ambitions, then they're not going to happen. I mean, in our journey, the only difference in me is that I kind of, once I saw that August Wilson play, difference in me and other people that we know that we started together, once I saw that play, that kind of crystallized what I wanted to do at that time, which was do those plays. And so I started finding out about, dramatic schools. And the only one I even heard about was Yale. Applied to Yale and go to Yale, ended up going to Harvard and Russia, which I think I got a sweet deal. But from that was able to meet the man who founded the theater that produced August Wilson as a playwright and all the directors. So that's just universe working together. That's just you moving in the direction that you're supposed to be going. And then the path, taking that leap of faith, and then having that ground laid under you by the universe, catching you every time you step out there to on an act of faith. And I encourage everybody, this is the time. If you want to write that book, write it. If you want to write the plays, write it. Write your movie, write it. If you want to figure out how to make tracks, this is the time. If you want to learn how to cook, this is the time. I be on here now. Not only am I working on stuff, Duolingo, be on Duolingo, learning the language, reading books. It's the time, man. This is a reset. This is the time we got that we were able to take for ourselves to stop and catch up to the world. Because right now everything is on an even scale almost. Can't nobody do shit. Everybody got to be at home.
Right.
So, it ain't like, you can go in the office and talk to somebody and get an advantage because you know the person. Everybody waiting in line. So I say take advantage of the time.
All right, man. Hey, it's been a pleasure talking with you, man. Well, you had a question, Harold? You good?
Oh, no, I'm good. I was just saying I second that news.
No doubt.
Hey, this guy here, he got, what you got, 150 films credits now?
No question.
About 172.
Hey, still, yeah.
I'm going for that 300. Eventually, about 13 years from now, I'll have it.
13 years? You don't take no 13 years at the rate you be working. I saw you in a film the other day. I think, yeah. I saw you in a film, yeah. And by the way, which is a good film that he made for nothing.
Right.
Wendell Eatherly, yeah.
Yeah, Wendell Eatherly is making a film. That's why I said, man, it's time for people to just do shit.
Get it going, man. Get it popping.
I'm working on my screenwriting.
That's what's up, man.
That's what I've been doing, taking classes at Second City. I finished the screenwriting just now, screenwriting 1. I'm starting the lab this Sunday for the next 8 weeks. And then I had a set of Robert McKee tapes on dialogue sitting in the closet for the last year. I just all of those over the last 4 days, and I just made a chart. I'm about to put it out. I'm doing it. This is the time.
That's what's up.
You be on the grind, dog. Wait, man. It's been a pleasure, dude.
Pleasure's all mine, man. I thank y'all for having me. Thank you for keeping a little older guy like me in mind. You know,
James, we can't forget you, man. You know what you're doing, man. It's been 22 years. Acting up forever, baby.
Acting up
forever, baby.
Wait, man. For Brad Stevens and
Harold Dennis.
This is another edition of Harold and Brad, Windy City Filmmakers. We'll be back soon with another guest. As always, dream big, dare to be great. We out of here later. Peace.
Peace.
Use the showroom. I damn it.
Oh la la. Yes.